Right, members. Councillor Deach, you indicated you wish to speak. Do you want to
Yes,
come in now?
And I know I don't have a vote, so you don't need to give me the pitch on that.
I will do, Councillor Deach,
Go ahead,
for
then.
anybody that's
You know,
watching.
I enjoy listening to that.
I know you know, but others may not know. You are permitted to speak, particularly as you're a ward councillor. However, as a ward councillor, you are not a member tonight of this planning committee. Therefore, you do not have a vote in the proceedings. And thank you for reminding me.
Thank you. Okay, thanks, Chairman. Members, first of all, I'd just like to say, as far as I'm aware, the developer has not tried to engage with me on this particular application. I don't know if my colleagues have had any engagement with the developer on it. And at first that might be concerning to me, but actually I've researched this developer, and it turns out they're actually, from what I can tell anyway, a very good developer, have a fantastic reputation, in particular around the credentials that the planning officer said in terms of environment, sustainability, design and that type of thing. So I don't have any concerns as far as the developer is concerned, or actually any issues with this particular application from what I can see with my, let's say, untutored eye when it comes to these sorts of things. However, I do have major concerns about the landowner, the Defence Infrastructure Organisation. And what one of the things the planning officer has just mentioned about reports, environmental reports and all that sort of thing. Well, based on previous experience with some of the applications that have come forward on this development, reserve matters applications, I don't trust a single thing of any of these reports that have come out, quite frankly. The landowner is the Defence Infrastructure Organisation. The most depressing thing of all about that is that they're a government body and can't be trusted, frankly. You know, I'm actually very disappointed in the way things are turning out with this development. And I don't even have major concerns with Skanska, to be honest. I know they've made a few cock-ups here and there, but I suspect most of it is all down to the DIO. And therefore, I am appealing to officers and members of this committee that from now on, whenever a planning application comes through, that all reports and every single element of that application is scrutinised to the 9th degree, because they just cannot be trusted. They're not held to account by anybody. We certainly don't be able to seem to hold them to account. Our residents are demanding that we should be holding them to account. This council should be holding them to account, as us as ward members should be holding them to account. But if the Secretary of Defence, Secretary of State for Defence can't hold the DIO to account, I don't see how we can. And therefore, I want to make sure that from now on, whenever an application comes through relating to Mindenhurst Development, that officers and members of this committee scrutinise everything you see very closely, because it's turning out to be an absolute disaster. And I'm ashamed, actually, that this development and the Defence Infrastructure Organisation are so prominent within Deachcut. So I don't hope I'm coming across in the strongest possible terms. But we've got a nightmare on our hands in Deachcut with the DIO, and I want to make sure that you all understand that in no uncertain terms. Now, in particular, I want you to look at contamination and land contamination with the environmental reports, because again, unfortunately, as a county councillor, you know, I'm ashamed to say I don't actually have any confidence either in any reports that comes about as a result of flood mitigation. No doubt the county council have said, oh yeah, no problems there, and waved it through like they do with highways issues. You know, so I want you to take a look at that very carefully. And finally, in terms of conditions, and I've been saying this quite a lot on lots of applications recently about power to garages, to make sure that it's conditioned that there is power to the garages, because I realise there's all sorts of regulations in terms of electricity, charging point provision and all that sort of stuff. But there have been developments, in particular Dettingen Park, actually, that didn't have power to the garages. And it's now going to be very difficult and very expensive for those residents when they can only have electric vehicles to get power to those garages. So I'd like to conditioned that that is the case, please. And in previous applications, that's not been a problem. So I hope it won't be a problem this evening. Like I say, just to repeat, I hope I have been very explicit in my concern about the Defence Infrastructure Organisation and future planning applications, whether they're reserved matters or not, that come through that involve that organisation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Deach. On this instance, there are 26 electric vehicle charging points. Councillor White.
I do want them in. I do want power to the garages, not necessarily power points for electricity charging vehicles, but just power to the garages themselves. So if residents want to add extra, they can do that easily. Thank you, Chairman.
Mr. Bishop, do you want to say something?
In the garages, the charging points are within the garages, so there will be power also to within the garages above and beyond the charging points. One of the features, I think, as you've rightly pointed out with Triple Hills, they are very into their sustainability, and every single property has got its own individual charging point.
That's very reassuring. Thank you.